Okay, so you want to get a better grasp on leadership, and you want to do it quickly.
Uh-huh.
You've sent over some really good resources, and what we're going to try to do today is dive into them.
Sure.
Pull out what we think are the really key insights, and
Yeah.
using examples
Yeah.
of real leaders right here from Malaysia.
Sounds good.
We're going to be looking at Tony Fernandes from AirAsia,
Mm-hmm.
Tan Sri Lim Go Tong of Genting,
Okay.
and the squash legend Datuk Nicole David.
Yeah, those are some great examples.
Yeah, I think so too. 3 leaders, 3 core principles.
Yeah, I think it's a really fantastic way to sort of ground these ideas
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times when we talk about leadership, it can be very abstract.
It can be, yeah.
But when you look at real people who have done this and succeeded,
Yeah.
then it becomes much more
Tangible.
tangible, right? You
Yeah.
can see it in action.
Yeah. So let's start with Tony Fernandes and AirAsia.
Okay.
The sources highlight something called the law of buy-in. What's the key takeaway there for you?
Well, I think the key takeaway is that people buy into the leader first and then the vision,
Okay.
right? If you think about Tony Fernandes,
Yeah.
he took over AirAsia
Yeah.
and was heavily in debt.
Yeah.
His main asset wasn't some perfect business plan.
Right.
It was really the trust and the faith that his team had in him.
Yeah, the sources really emphasized that the belief in him
Yeah,
preceded the turnaround.
totally.
Right.
They believed in him before they believed that the company could be turned around.
So what's the practical lesson then for someone listening who's maybe
Yeah.
trying to get their team on board with something new?
I think the lesson there is that you have to build the trust first,
Okay.
right? The sources point to Fernandez leading by example
Mm-hmm.
and really showing his employees that he valued them.
Right.
So if you're coming up against resistance with a new idea, the first question to ask yourself is,
Yeah.
how strong is the trust between me and the team?
Yeah.
Is that foundation there?
I think that's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Tan Sri Lim Go Tong and Genting.
Okay.
His story really speaks to the law of navigation.
Mhm.
What's the core idea behind that one?
Leaders can see the road ahead, even when it's not clear to everyone else.
Oh, okay.
So think about Lim Go Tong in the 1960s.
Yeah.
He had this vision of building a resort and a casino
Yeah, up in the mountains.
high up in the mountains.
Nobody thought it would work.
Right. A lot of people thought it was a ridiculous idea
Yeah.
that no one would go up there.
Right.
But he could see it.
Yeah, the sources highlight how much he planned. He
Mm.
was thinking years in advance,
Absolutely.
not just, the next quarter or
yeah,
2 quarters.
he had a long-term vision.
Right. And then based on that vision, he took risks.
Yeah.
And he created something that everyone else thought was impossible.
Right.
So what can somebody listening take away and try to apply?
I think it's consciously shifting your focus.
Okay.
We're all dealing with these immediate pressures, right? But what does it look like in
Yeah.
5 years?
Right.
Right. What's the landscape?
Yeah.
How are you positioning yourself for that?
Yeah.
Even if it seems a little improbable right now
Right.
or distant.
Have that foresight.
Yeah.
Have that conviction.
Conviction, that's it.
All right, finally, let's look at Datuk Nicole David.
Okay.
In the law of process, this one feels really relevant
Yeah.
in today's world where everybody wants results immediately.
Instant results, that's right.
So what is this law all about?
It's really emphasizing that leadership and mastery in general
Okay.
are built through consistent daily effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about overnight success.
Right.
So think about Datuk Nicole David.
Yeah.
She was at the top of the squash world for so long.
For so long.
And it wasn't just talent,
Right.
right? It was that discipline, the training,
Yeah.
the constant improvement, even when she was already number 1.
Yeah. And the sources really hammer home that point, that it's that
Okay.
daily improvement
Yeah.
that leads to mastery.
Daily improvement. It's not about just showing up.
Right.
It's about getting a little bit better every single day.
I like that. So to bring it all together,
Okay.
for a big vision to take hold,
Yeah.
you need trust in the leader first.
Trust, that's number 1.
True leaders have that ability to see and plan for the long term.
That long-term vision, absolutely.
And lasting success isn't about one single brilliant moment.
Yeah.
It's the result of that consistent
Right.
daily effort and improvement.
Consistent daily effort, that's how you get there.
And what we're seeing is these principles,
Yeah.
as demonstrated by these Malaysian leaders,
Mm-hmm.
they're not theoretical.
Yeah.
They're proven in action.
Exactly. And it just goes to show that these laws of leadership,
Mm-hmm.
they're universal. They
Yeah.
apply across different fields,
Right.
different industries.
It's about the principles.
It is.
So as you're thinking about this,
Okay.
I want you to think about which of these laws buy in
Okay.
navigation process. Which one resonates most with maybe what you're experiencing right now? And then ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to start strengthening my own leadership muscle?
I love that.
Because it doesn't matter what your role is. We can all be leaders.
Absolutely.
And it's those daily steps that really define where you're going.
That's a great way to put it.
All right. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure as always.
We'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.